Good morning, everybody. Sorry my voice is a little hoarse today, but I'm gonna talk about this week and about your upcoming essay and a little bit about the essay that you just did. So I finished grading. I finished putting comments on everything. I really liked what I saw. I am a terribly honest human being. I'm autistic and I will just say what's on my mind all the time. And it comes out as being too direct for some people, but it's just honesty. And you guys did a great job. And I thought that I saw a lot of good just understanding of how to create a thesis, where to put the thesis, how to build a counter argument. And even though we haven't talked about it, a lot of good claims. So many of you are very well prepared and very good writers and should do well in this brief session. Just in terms of your writing and the overall presentation, which is one of the things that we focused on for this time with the double spacing. I'm using Odalis here because she's first in the alphabet and she had an outstanding essay, but the presentation in the MLA form is just magnificent. All of the double spacing. And so just remember, for all of your essays, you're going to have, this isn't required on the first page, the Acosta 1 or your last name in the page number. It's required on every page after the first, but that's fine. No biggie. And then you double space over to here, double space between the entries, double space from the heading to the title, double space from the title to the body, and there are no additional spaces between paragraphs. Why am I concerned about that? It's just a word count requirement issue. A lot of people are putting a lot of gaps in here, and it comes out a lot shorter than it should be, especially if you have the gaps between the paragraphs and between the heading and the title, etc. So just work on that. So you want to avoid things like, having this big space here. And definitely when you get back to working in Word, you can just click on the paragraph tab and it'll allow you to eliminate space between paragraphs just by clicking where it says do not add space between paragraphs. But the content, the grammar, outstanding. Really, really well done. You can actually see the average grade up here was 0.8, and that takes into account there are a few that didn't submit it, so it's actually closer to 0.9 out of 1. So to be at that position right now bodes well for everybody's success. I'm here to work with you. Just look forward to meeting you on Zoom. If you want to meet with me, please just send me an email, and then I can give you my number, even if that works best, so that we can meet during Zoom times. So I'm not saying it's only by appointment. I'm just saying like somebody might just have a scheduled appointment already during office hours, so I can work around that if you send me an email ahead of time. And I can work with you at different times in the week if that's best for you too. And I'll just give you my phone number and you can text me and say I want to Zoom now, and that's fine with me too. All right, moving ahead a little bit to your first essay coming up. Just take a look at the module for this week. We have 2 weeks to do it, and that's just the reality because we have an 8-week course. Go through it all, please, in order. That's really important. And you'll start with the instructions so that you understand what your task is. And then I'll start building the different things that you can do in your essay, including how to structure an introductory paragraph, how to structure a claim paragraph, how to create transitions, etc. These are guides. They're not absolutes. Many of you have kind of an authentic, organic style already, and that's great. But the one thing I have to stress, well, I'll make it 2. The 2 things that I have to stress is I don't want a delayed thesis in this course. In other words, you can't just throw your thesis in at the end. So I want your thesis to be done at the end of the introductory paragraph. That way, the entire body of the paragraph is focused on defending it. And you build those body paragraphs with the knowledge of defending the thesis for the reader's sake, and that's important for us. And the second thing is, in these how to develop a claim paragraph, deductive or inductive, just note that if you're writing claim-based paragraphs, you don't want to bury your claims. So a claim will come either at the beginning if it's deductive or at the end if it's not.